turn that on. Might put a light on because it looks really dark in here. Oh, I just had to show the sunshine. Another lovely day on the west coast. Windy this morning, wasn't it?
It was actually, and this afternoon.
Yeah.
And then it sort of died down.
Oh, I've been in my office open, so I really wouldn't know what it's like out there.
Yeah, I just when I walked to pick up kids from school, because I pick up my nephew as well.
Oh, yeah.
And we're walking back and it was so windy.
Have you got a sister here?
Well, it was my brother, yeah.
Oh, brother. Okay. Yeah. Right. Oh, right. Yeah. And
We're twins, yeah.
you twins.
He goes by Harrison now. Okay. Yeah. So he's changing his name here, I think.
Yeah.
Because it was Harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And Connor used to come here
Yeah.
and do the building course when I was here.
Yeah.
And you know my mum as well. Joanne Mackay.
Joanne.
Mackay.
Oh, is that your mum?
Yes, my mum. We don't look anything alike.
No,
No.
that's crazy.
Yeah, she's at my house at the moment actually.
Is she doing her summons?
I'll tell her you said she is.
God, so she did a little hurry along there.
Yeah, I will actually.
Okay. Oh, that's funny. Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. Yeah, okay, here we go.
Yeah, we've all pretty much been here.
Yeah.
Mm.
Excellent. Just tell all your friends as well.
Yeah,
It would be nice to have a few classmates.
yeah. Well, I got mum to come.
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
She's doing well. She's just got to chip away at it, that's all. Okay, shall we get into this week? So, week 2, functions of HR management. But before we do that, we'll just have a wee reflection or revision on what we covered last week. So there's actually a wee quiz there for you to do.
Yeah.
Have a go at that multiple choice quiz. How'd you go?
Hopefully I did all right.
Okay, well, yeah. HRM involved and the focus on worker welfare following the Industrial Revolution.
True.
True, yeah, that was really where it started to develop, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
because that was in the reading as well. They completed
Yeah.
it.
It wasn't called HRM at that point, but
Yeah.
the principles of HR management were there,
Yeah.
starting to come through.
Yeah.
All organisations, I'm sorry,
That's
they
right, it's me.
really should have it off. All organisations have an HR manager, true or false?
False.
Yeah, false. Why is that?
Because depending on whether they think they need it or if they're a big enough organisation, it could be small, they could have several people sort of doing their jobs.
Absolutely, yeah. So most small businesses don't have specific HR managers, they just have a general manager or a business owner fulfilling all of the HR functions.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it was sort of tended to be organisations, once you get up to this, 90, 100 employees is when you start to
Yeah.
have a full-time equivalent HR person.
Yeah.
HR management includes which of the following functions?
All of the above.
Yes, absolutely. And which of the following is not a function of staffing the organisation?
Linking, performance and reward.
Yeah, very good. Yep, so we definitely, when we talk about staffing the organisation, we're focusing on recruitment, selection, designing jobs and welcoming new employees. Those are all those tasks that link in there. But linking performance and rewards fits in with rewarding people and performance. Which of the following is not a function of developing people and performance?
I put D, building a learning organisation. Is that right or wrong?
Not quite right. Because building a learning organisation is is a focus on learning, and that's an aspect of development. So
Yeah.
that is linking in with developing people. But rewards and remuneration strategies, so A, falls into that category of rewarding people and performance.
Okay.
So
Not developing people.
not developing people. Okay. So when we're talking about staff development, coaching, mentoring, training, learning, development, professional development, those words are what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
The key role of HR in an organisation is.
I just put all of the above.
You're right. Yeah. It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
You know, some people would like to argue it's strategic.
Yeah. But it is administrative.
But it is hugely administrative. That's important. And it is going to vary depending on the organisation as to how the organisation sees HR. But all of the above, when we had that little diagram that had the 4 quadrants, and those 4 were all key aspects of HR.
Yeah.
And strategic HR management involves considering the organisation's mission and long-term goals and how HR policies and practices can best support the organisation to achieve these. True or false?
True.
Yes. So that's that long-term aspect. Okay, so now that I've jogged your memory about what we covered last week, what was one thing that you thought was particularly sort of interesting or new that you didn't know about from what we did? Or did you know at all?
No, I didn't. I didn't really know a lot about the history of HR, which was quite interesting. And I actually had a kind of sense of what HR do now, which I didn't have before. So, yeah.
Excellent. Yep. An introduction to HR class should give you a bit of a sense of what HR does. Excellent. Learning objective achieved. Right, so this week, now that we've got a bit of background, we will start digging into each of those functions in a lot more detail too.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what we're going to cover, start digging into what does training involve, what does recruitment involve, what does selection involve, so that's what we're going to focus on.
Yeah.
This week though, we're first going to just cover what are those HR functions once more, and discuss the distinction between hard versus soft HR management, and then talk a little bit about the structure of HR management in organisations.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, we've just been your mate, might not take us the whole hour.
Yeah.
Tends to be a bit faster if you've got fewer students, but that's okay.
Yeah.
If you've got questions, just let us know. Like we looked at in the activity we did last week, those key HR functions do fall into those general 5 categories, and then whenever you start to look at what do HR actually do, we basically have to consider all of these different aspects. So I think first and foremost, the HR planning is key.
Yeah. Because
planning is what enables them to work out what it is they need within the organisation. So planning involves what is the HR availability, what is the HR demand, and what is the gap. Okay? And so then once we work out what that gap is, we have to work out how we're going to fill that gap. It might be we need to recruit more people, it might mean we need to make people redundant.
Yeah.
There we start the planning process. So HR planning is first and foremost, really. Then put number 1 beside that.
Yeah.
Next is really job analysis and job design.
Oh, yeah.
It comes into recruitment, selection and introduction, but job analysis and job design is something that is often overlooked in the process.
Yeah.
Because it takes time. So job analysis, what we're talking about there is getting a really thorough understanding of what a job actually involves. And so there are lots of different methods you can use. You can observe somebody doing the job.
Yeah.
Or you can interview them about what they do in the job. or you can, there's a whole range of questionnaires you can use to get the information you need.
Yeah.
And obviously the more people you interview or observe, the more you can generalise that information. If I wanted to find out what does receptionist do, I could go and sit and watch her for a full day and go, right, she spends, a quarter of her time on the phone, she spends a quarter of her time entering information into the computer, whatever, you can start to break it down. And the reason why that job analysis process is so important is that that should be what informs a number of these other functions.
Yeah.
Specifically, it should inform the process of writing your job description and your person specification. Okay. So, I don't know, like when you've gone to apply for jobs and you've got a copy of the job description, the person specification, are you sort of aware of the different purpose of those documents?
Yeah. There's always the different ones. Obviously, smaller organisations tend to go, the job's very broad. You're going to do so many things.
You're going to have to do everything.
Yeah, and then larger organisations can have huge descriptions, and we have to download a document to actually read.
Like 15 pages of
just stuff.
gobbledygook.
So
Yeah.
So
they are hugely varied. Yeah. And I think probably the optimal solution is somewhere in between. You want enough detail in the job description that you have a good description of what the key responsibilities are, what the key tasks are, what you're going to have to be able to do. And then in the person specification, you want to have enough information about what the key knowledge, skills, abilities, qualification and experience is necessary to be able to do the job. And that's the information, all of that should be obtained from that job analysis process. Okay? It's all good and well that everybody says, we need good communication skills. Duh. Every job pretty much needs good communication skills, whether it be reading, writing so that people can understand you, or presenting, or talking, or typing, emailing. Communication is pretty fundamental. What is it about that communication that's so important to this particular role? Say you're a customer service position. You want to be able to clearly articulate and answer customer inquiries in a polite and friendly fashion. So, you need a bit more explanation other than just communication skills. So your job description and your person specification form the basis for your recruitment and your selection process. Okay. And it should be those things that are in your person specification that you use as your selection criteria. So when you recruit, we put out an advertisement, and I think I asked you to bring one along.
No,
it's okay, I couldn't say that. I had a suspicion people might forget, but we'll look at those in a bit. But with the advertisement, you need to obviously give enough information that you're going to attract the right sort of people to the job. And that people aren't going to self-select out of the job who would be appropriate. Like if you say a minimum of 5 years experience is required, and somebody who has all of the other key requirements of the job looks at that and says, that's will not apply. What you've just done is narrowed your pool of applicants and potentially ruled out people who could have been very suitable. So I suppose wording is quite important when it comes to the advertising. However you advertise, whether it's in the newspaper or on social media or on Seek or Trade Me Jobs or on TV or radio, whichever method you use, you want to give enough information about the job requirements, what the organisation is, and obviously enough information for people to select into that process. It's interesting with, I don't know if you see some jobs where they don't tell you what the organisation is.
Actually I have seen that on Seek, and you're like, what is this? It's really confusing. Or you have those, what are they called? Recruitment places.
So it's usually a recruitment consultancy firm who's advertising on behalf of their client.
Yeah.
And for whatever purpose, sometimes, I mean, they do it strategically.
Yeah.
As in not identifying the organisation.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's because of, they want to keep it confidential that they're advertising.
Yeah.
They don't want anyone to know. But also sometimes it's to sort of, to limit perception. People ruling themselves in based on their perception of that organisation, or ruling themselves out. If you're not interested in working, you're a hardcore environmentalist and you don't want to work in the mining industry or something, then then I suppose the point is with that recruitment, we often look at what the organisation is, find out about what they do, and think, do my values align with their values?
Yeah.
Or is that an organisation I'd be excited to work in? So there's different approaches to advertising, I guess.
Yeah, I understand it slightly, but at the same time, you still got to run into an issue if they find out the company is actually advertising and they don't want to work with them in the end.
Yeah, exactly. I know. You still potentially rule yourself out later on down the line because you go, oh no, I don't want to work with them.
Yeah.
To be honest, it puts me off applying for jobs. Because you sort of look at it and go, I'd like to know who I'm actually
applying for. I think I've only applied for a few through HR.
Yeah.
Whatever. Those things, because it's just like they're a bit funny about getting back to you as well. Yeah. And some of them even just sign up for the recruitment place anyway. I went on this website and I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. It was not clear to me what I had to do, and I was like,
so they put too many hurdles in place.
Yeah.
This is the thing to bear in mind when you're working in HR. How many hurdles do people have to jump through in order to actually apply for the job? Yeah. And maybe they do that on purpose because they want somebody who's got high levels of computer literacy, or they don't want or they want to make it a little bit complicated because people who are really keen will be the ones that carry on through it. But you can also rule out people who might have been very appropriate candidates.
Because it does take a lot of time to apply for a job, just in general, anyway.
It does. You get all your information together. And they often ask a lot of difficult questions in the application forms that you've got to fill in. So certainly time consuming.
You do kind of when I look at job applications, I always look at the job description and see myself there. So I always have cover letters in my CV written out, but then I specify it to the certain job. And then I think of different questions that I get asked at interviews and stuff like that, and I write down notes. So
if you're looking in the job advertisement, what are the key person requirements that they're saying that they need for this particular job? Then you align your CV and your cover letter to those, and then you can think, okay, they're going to ask me questions around that. So when you go through, job description, person specification should form the basis for recruitment and selection. We should be basing our selection activities on how are we measuring communication skills, or how are we measuring computing skills, or how are we assessing if somebody has excellent customer service ability. So those things are essentially an assessment of those key requirements. And this is where there's lots of different methods for a selection. Interviewers, the one that seems to be predominantly thought of is the process, but obviously it's not the only one. We have psychometric tests, we have work sample tests, we have a whole range of different approaches to collect the information from different sources in different ways and make it more reliable and valid. So we'll talk about selection a lot as well. Then obviously once you've got to go through those sort of the legal process of once you're offering somebody a job, writing up a contract and a letter of offer and going through that process is all part of the HR functions. And then welcoming the new employee to the organisation, so that induction or orientation or onboarding, they call it now. How do you welcome somebody, and who's responsible for making sure that certain aspects of that welcome are completed? A lot of organisations these days have gone to online induction. you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you can do all your training, your initial induction training online. Yeah. And it's really, you know, if you're not bringing on, you know, for organisations where you might be taking a whole cohort of 30 people in at one time or something, they need like the military, then it makes sense you can do a physical induction with a group of people. And it makes sense to have a trainer standing there and training them face to face. But most, you know, New Zealand businesses, we're taking people on one at a time during the course of the year, and you don't want to have to expend that energy just in time repeating that information. So they've gone to online, log in, complete, you know, read, you know, go through this module, answer these quiz questions, tick, you've done that on that part of the induction. So that's a really key, you know, important development, I guess. And that does feed into training and development. Induction is essentially the first stage in training and development. Training and development is, you know, it is about identifying anything that they might need further training in, and you could identify that in the interview process. Great, excellent customer service, excellent communication skills, but I can see that your Excel spreadsheeting is not very good. Right, we're going to send you on a computer course, you know. We'll take you on, but we'll send you on a computer course for the initial training. So we're training, you know, and in training it's about, do we take an organisational perspective about what the organisation needs, or do we take an individual perspective about what each individual needs? So there's lots of different methods again for assessing that information and working out what is going to be the best bang for your buck as an organisation. And it's really interesting because, you know, training is often the thing that gets slashed when organisations are struggling financially. And yet training is the key. So it's crucial.
I agree with that.
And developing people, you know, like giving them career opportunities, and that's showing that you're a good organisation to work for, and it will help with your being able to recruit people to the organisation. But that does link in with performance management, obviously, as well. So training and development is useful when you've identified perhaps issues with performance. So performance management, we generally, you know, often organisations do something annually, like an annual performance review, but it was a real shift now, I guess, to having ongoing difficult conversations with staff. You know, performance management shouldn't be you wait till the end of the year and find out things aren't going well. It should be that you're finding out as you go. So it's ongoing regular feedback, and it's really that line managers need, you know, a lot of managers sort of steer away from doing performance management because it's scary for them. They don't want to have difficult conversations. So it's actually about encouraging line managers and training them into how to have difficult conversations with staff. And laying that expectation for staff that this is going to be part of the process. And we can use different methods, so observation, interviewing, checking somebody's work, a whole range of different methods we can actually use for that performance management process. It's quite a controversial area. Some would say, no, there's no point in doing performance management. It just leads to, you know, decreased morale and lack of all of that, because obviously if it's not done well, then it can actually be quite harmful as well.
Definitely.
Have you been through, you know, had performance management in any of your jobs that you?
No, I've been a supervisor though, and I understand. I didn't have like any training in performance management, but I had issues
with staff, and you're like, how do I deal with this?
And it was because I worked with them all. We were all the same age. We were all young. And then all of a sudden, I had to be in charge of them.
When I was first head of department, when I was 20. No, this must have been 28 years old when I became, or 29 years old when I became head of department for business and computing. I was the youngest. They were all much more mature than I was, and I was their boss and managing them. And it's definitely a challenge, you know, especially if it's your peers or like how how do you have those difficult conversations
Exactly.
without upsetting people?
Yeah, these are all 16-year-olds.
Yeah, you want to keep them on side.
Yeah.
You don't want them stalling off and saying, oh, well, damn it, then I'll leave.
Yeah.
But you also need to actually be able to address poor performance as well.
Yeah.
So it's a real challenge, but I think, the key is in training our managers to be able to have those difficult conversations.
Yeah.
In a way that is constructive, but also training staff into expecting that.
Yeah.
It becomes part of the culture.
Exactly. Yeah.
So performance and and performance management can link into reward management, or maybe not. There's also lots of debate about that. Do we link rewards to performance or don't we? Remuneration is a hugely complex area. So there's actually so much scope there for different methods of pay.
Yeah.
A base pay, or you get paid on output, or so contingent, or paid on meeting certain criteria. So there's contingency pay or variable pay, and then there's your usual pay.
Yeah.
But how does an organisation choose how it's going to actually structure that?
Yeah.
So that's a challenge. And linking that into managing performance and motivation and morale and so forth. Because there's a whole lot of psychology that comes into it in terms of perceptions of equity.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he got his bonus, I didn't get my bonus, but he's, no good at doing that, and I'm excellent at doing it. Why has he got the bonus and I haven't? So those sorts of issues become really important in your performance management process as to how you're actually measuring that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of measurement that comes into HR. Like when we're selecting, we're measuring people. We're trying to assess the level of skills and knowledge and things that they have.
Yeah.
When we observe performance, we're measuring performance.
Yeah.
And so whenever we start to measure things, we actually get fraught with the issues of human perception and what our brains do. We're actually subject to a whole range of errors that occur when we're assessing somebody else.
Yeah.
You've got your inherent biases, stereotypes, the just like me effect, or the halo effect, or there's got a whole range of different possible things that can impact on your assessment and your judgment, even when you think of being neutral.
Yeah.
So that's something we'll talk about there as well. Performance, reward management, succession and career planning, that really comes into HR planning as well. It's thinking about how people are going to move through the organisation and when they're going to be ready to step up into higher level roles.
Yeah.
And also, that's what's not in there is things like health and safety. So that is certainly, and well-being, employee well-being, health and safety. And I would say, they have got labour relations there. Good, yeah. So labour relations. So that is really that managing conflict and difficulties between individuals or between the union. Managing personal grievances or staff complaints. So there's a huge role there in terms of the legal side, giving legal advice to managers on what they can and can't do when it comes to performance management.
Yeah.
Because there's legislative requirements too to meet.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really good resources available to managers if they know where to look for them. And that's the part of HR's role, is to make sure that line managers know what that is they're supposed to do when they're managing poor performance.
Yeah.
Or they want to terminate a person's employment because of poor performance.
Yeah.
What are the steps they actually have to take?
Yeah.
So that comes into your labour relations there as well. So having a really good understanding of the legislation, and it's not just the Employment Relations Act, we're talking the Health and Safety Act, the Minimum Wage Act, the Wages Protection Act, the Parental Leave and Employment Act, the Equal Pay Act, the
Yeah.
There we go. We can name probably a million more,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But all of that legislation and knowing the ins and outs of that, and the fact that it's changing constantly,
Yeah.
that's a huge part of HR responsibility, I guess.
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
Any questions?
Not really, it's quite,
That's
deep.
yeah. I mean, like I said, we're going to go into each of those in a lot more depth.
Yeah,
But that
yeah.
gives you more maybe insight into where we're heading.
Yeah.
And it sort of also starts to spark the debate between hard versus soft HR management. So
Yeah.
that was one of your reading, I think, for this week, was around this sort of distinction.
Is that for this?
Yeah.
Is that the tonight's read?
I think it was this week's reading. I'm just going to go to the
I wasn't here on Monday, I haven't been on the movie yet, so I'll check that out.
Check it out, yeah. You can't see what I'm saying. Yeah, reading 2.2 for this week, increasing organisational commitment using hard and soft HR.
Oh, yeah.
So this term hard versus soft HR might be something that is a little bit perhaps new.
Yeah.
But essentially we're talking about quite a different sort of philosophical approach, and it actually links in. Do you remember on Monday we talked about Douglas McGregor's theory X and theory Y? I wasn't here Monday. No, you weren't.
Yeah, that's what I mean, I've got to go back and look at
You've got
that.
to go back and look at that one. Wow, when you go back and look at that one, you'll realise that that is actually links in quite closely with this
Oh, yeah.
concept of hard versus soft HR. Douglas McGregor's theory X and theory Y suggested that managers take different attitudes and approaches to treating employees. So theory X is managers assume that employees don't really want to be at work, need to be observed and need to be basically kicked into action because they're inherently probably quite lazy and won't do the work unless you monitor them, keep tabs on them.
Yeah.
Theory Y managers assume that people actually inherently want to work, they're inherently self-motivated, they're inherently driven to perform, and that as a result you don't need quite as strict observation or monitoring.
Yeah.
So, and that becomes a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you've got a theory X manager, staff will start to respond and behave in that way.
Yeah.
Where if you've got a theory Y manager, then they will start to respond in that way. So, but it does link in with this concept that hard HR treats employees simply as a resource for the business.
Yeah.
This is soft, where we're thinking that employees are the most important resource in the business.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's that change in language that we've started to see evolving as well, away from thinking of people as resources to be thinking of them as assets.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we need those people to give us that competitive advantage. Whereas hard HR looks at corporate business planning, what resources do we need, how are we going to get them, how much will they cost.
Yeah.
Soft HR definitely looks more at, okay, we need to think about what are the individual needs for staff, and if we meet individual needs, that will inevitably benefit the organisation by providing a better place to work for people, and people will be inherently more motivated.
Yeah.
So you seek out links into theory X and theory Y
Yeah,
a little bit? Yeah. I guess the question is, which approach do you think works?
Better, I'd say, maybe it's because I'm a softie, but I'd say the soft.
The soft, yeah.
But I think it also depends on the organisation.
Yeah, can a lot depend on the organisation.
Or depend on not just like one organisation, but depend on what kind of work it actually is. So like if it's a competitive place, then maybe they're looking to sort of be more hard. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
if
you're wanting to drive.
Yeah.
Sure.
And make money
Yeah.
fast
Yeah.
and efficiently.
Yeah.
So it does depend on
It does.
the organisation.
And absolutely. And I suppose the point is both approaches are quite useful.
Yeah. They would be in different
concepts,
settings. Yeah.
environments. The hard approach is expected to sort of be a bit more cost effective.
Yeah.
Because we're not necessarily investing so much in the people, but we're investing in what the organisation's needs are.
Yeah.
And it's sort of expected to be a bit quicker in terms of decision making.
Yeah.
But the problem is that if people feel like their needs aren't being met, then that could lead to absenteeism or turnover of people leaving the organisation.
And that's
Or
quite
low morale.
costly.
It's extremely costly in its own way. The soft approach, it's fantastic. It really appeals to us, in terms of looking after people, touchy-feely, making us feel good. And people like that, you're being treated nicely. And there is an argument that it can definitely motivate staff if they feel that they're, well looked after and supported. But the danger can be that the cost of providing that actually outweighs the added benefit that we obtain as an organisation. So there's sort of a limit to how much an organisation can, boost the soft side of it and look out for employee well-being before it starts to actually undermine its overall financial performance and disadvantage it competitively. It is a debate. It's a continuous debate.
Yeah.
The point is we probably want to take both approaches to some extent.
Yeah. Mix them both.
Yeah, and depending on what the specific need is for the organisation at that time. Obviously the politics in a period of change and there's things happening in the media. At this point in time, they probably need to have quite a hard focus. To actually get through and make the change happen, and then implement the softer focus to get whoever's left engaged in, and get them on board with, the future going forward, whatever that might look like. At this point, they probably can't afford to take the softer focus, even though that would be nice. So definitely.
I can see they're advertising job actually,
Yeah, there's still advertising jobs. There's still people. There's plenty of people jumping ship.
Oh, I didn't know.
No.
That's the best one I've seen in a while. Come on,
Yeah. There was a accounts administration one.
I'm wondering if that's the one Paul hit me up about the other day when I was here.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm looking for a job. I said, She said, are you studying full time? I said, yeah. She said, never mind. I flitted away. I was like, didn't even tell me what it was.
It was an accounts administration job.
Yeah.
So you could always have a look on the website and see what I'm on. And whether they're open to part-time people or not, because sometimes they are.
I think it was part-time.
It's not. So anyway, that's sort of go away and have a read of that article anyway, and sort of think. I think that might be your question for tonight.
Which approach do you think works better?
Yeah.
So that's the one for the reading.
That's the. I'm just thinking about your course forum post for this week for this class.
Oh yeah.
I think it's around that reading. No, it's not. It's around It's around this other one. Is HR ready to take on a role of business partner?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Which you'll have on Moodle.
Oh yeah, sweet.
You okay with reading the stuff online? Does that work alright?
Yep, it works good. Either.
Yeah.
Basically, because I can just sit at my laptop and take notes, or I can just have a blank bit of paper and highlight, which I'm going to take notes anyway. Of that, so.
If you want to print stuff out, you can come in and use the computers and print out. You've got a certain amount of printing you're allowed to do on our printing machine. So if you're really struggling to read something, then online you can come in and print out. It certainly saves a paper tree if we don't give out hard copies. But I know not everybody likes it.
I think either works for me.
Alright, the last part we're going to look at, because our hour's almost up, it's crazy, is the structure of HR management. And I think, I talked a little bit last week about the fact that it somewhat depends on, the size of the organisation as to how many HR staff you have involved and how that HR department might be structured. But we talk about this concept of centralised versus decentralised. So centralised, and this might be something you learned in business admin, I don't know.
I can't remember.
Centralised is when decision making is held at a high level. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Decentralised is when decision making is delegated down to lower levels of basic authority, basically.
Yeah.
And they've given us these two sort of examples of diagrams where, centralised is, we've got an HR manager and you might have an advisor and an administrator, and that's obviously for a small organisation.
Yeah.
But you can see that the HR decision making is held at that high sort of level.
Yeah.
And decentralised.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is for a larger organisation, might have a structure, HR structure that looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
You've got that general manager for HR, you've got HR manager, training development manager, another HR manager, depending on this, might be a different functional area or a divisional area, you might have different HR managers within that team responsible for different parts of the organisation. And you could add on health and safety or payroll or whatever.
Yeah.
But you can see that, obviously there's somebody who has overall oversight, but then they will have delegated a lot of the HR decision making to those managers at those levels. When we come to looking at structure charts in the management class as well, you'll see similarities here, but the number of levels of management can slow down that decision making if decision making is held at the top level.
Mm-hmm.
Like if this person had to ask that person and they have to ask that person and they have to ask the chief executive every time you want a decision made, then it just gets really cumbersome. So usually once you start to do this, you start to delegate that decision making authority down the chain. You still hold the overall responsibility and accountability for the decisions, but that just means that you have to make sure you've got people in place who you know are going to make good decisions, or you train them to make sure that they know how to make good decisions. Yeah. But that's certainly what ends up happening once you get into larger organisation structures. But this is probably quite a common one in a lot of New Zealand businesses. We might have somebody who acts as the overall HR manager, somebody who's there giving advice and support to the line managers, and somebody who's there doing the administrative tasks required. Any questions about the structure?
No, not really.
Yeah, I suppose it could be interesting, to go and, I don't even know what our HR structure looks like here anymore because it changes so much. But but to go and find out about an organisation, have a look and see what kind of, ask questions, do you have an HR manager? Do they have HR advisors? How many HR advisors? Or, do they break it down into the different functions, or does each advisor have one area of specialty, or do they do all of the functions,
Yeah.
So that's sort of a decision-making process that the organisation makes. And sometimes it kind of evolves depending on what the skill sets are of the particular people that they've employed. And it may not have been planned that way, but that's what ends up happening as they grow larger.
Yeah, and that's, I think, another thing that HR, especially nowadays, has to sort of be prepared for. Hiring people that actually have a higher skill set. And could be used.
And then using that skill set in appropriate ways. Exactly. You might find that you've found somebody whose skills are outside of the actual job description. But you want to employ them, but you also want to make sure that they stay motivated to do the job. So how can we best utilise that? Sure. So I did print out a couple of job advertisements. If I can find them. Just for interest's sake, I guess, really, to look at what do these sort of jobs involve. And I've got one there that says HR business partner. That one's an HR business partner. That's an HR manager. And you can find these all on Seek. They're all there at the moment. But thinking about looking at one of those, does it specify the sort of HR functions that are required? Yes, so there under key responsibilities, employment relations, developing HR policy, change management, remuneration, recruitment and onboarding, learning and development, so pretty much everything, right? Health and safety as well. So that job wants somebody to be able to cover it all. And you would expect an HR manager would have oversight of all of that.
Yeah.
You know, then there's the other ones that sort of talk about HR business partner, and that's what that article that you need to read this week is about as well.
Yeah.
It's about this concept of business partner, somebody who sort of buys into the overall planning and overall management of the organisation and gets really involved at that high level. That essentially, you know, engaged in trying to grow the business.
Yeah.
And there is a real emphasis on that these days.
Yeah,
So,
so they want someone that wants to be there and basically has the same kind of values as the business and wants to help grow it.
yeah, I think, yeah, exactly. And I think the challenges with a lot of these jobs is, like Salman says, you have overall oversight for the strategic and operational aspects.
Yeah.
Now, if you want somebody who's going to act as an HR business partner, you really want them to focus on the strategic.
Yeah.
And then you have an HR manager who reports to them,
Yeah.
who focuses on, you know, more of the operational or the HR advisor or whatever. But you know, what happens is they advertise these jobs, and really you should have a structure like that.
Yeah.
But you put on an HR manager and expect them to do everything.
Yeah.
You know, and so that can be a real sort of area of conflict where the job description doesn't necessarily align with the reality.
No.
So you have to be careful if you're advertising. If you're advertising for an HR business partner, the job should sound like an HR business partner.
Yeah.
You know, you have authority in that this high level decision making
Yeah.
in the organisation. So yeah, it's an interesting read. Yeah. So it does align with what we talked about last week with those different roles of HR.
Mm.
I like how in this article it doesn't actually define HR business partner until the third page essentially. So
Yeah.
usually that's something you do in the first paragraph. Let's define what is an
Yeah.
HR business partner.
Opening.
Yeah,
Opening.
exactly. So you stick with it until you get to at least the third page. Is that my suggestion?
Yeah.
But that's what we need to do this week. Readings 3. So there's a chapter from the textbook.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And on Moodle, and then there's this one and another one, and then respond to the course forum post.
Yeah.
2%.
Was I supposed to read from the textbook last week?
I think there was a chapter for the textbook last week.
I'm going to do that. Oh, sorry, I didn't.
You haven't got a textbook. I've just the
Oh, not for HR. I mean
the other one.
Yeah, was I
No,
supposed to? Oh,
I've given you the textbook as an optional extra source of information. Only if you need it. You don't need to read it.
Yeah. I might.
Yeah, you might find that you
Yeah.
want to when it comes to doing some
Yeah.
assessment work.
Basically, right now I'm just trying to figure out.
And I'll refer to it in class.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where it can be handy just to have it there, and I can, because sometimes up on the screen the diagrams might look too small.
Yeah.
So if you bring it to class, you can flip to that page and have a proper look at it.
Yeah. I've just been trying to figure out how it works first.
Yeah.
Each one that I'm doing. So I kind of think I've got the hang of Moodle.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah, just trying to figure out what I should be doing what each week.
Yes.
As well.
Well, it's quite hard if you're doing all 4 papers
Yeah.
to keep track of what you need to do for each week for each board.
Yeah.
So.
These are good though. Yeah, these are good.
Yeah.
These
Is
are
Ian
good.
doing something like that or not? Or not?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Cool.
Yeah, so.
And
that's
they're
what-
up on Moodle too, so,
Yeah.
you know, the PowerPoints are all up on Moodle. If you do lose your copy, you can get them from
Yeah.
there. But it's certainly just thinking that each week I'm going to have to go to class, do some readings, probably answer a course forum post,
Yeah,
and eventually start working on an assignment.
yeah. So take notes of
Exactly. Yeah. Make this happen.
those and like the handouts and reading and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much just yet until you get the assignment, you know.
Yeah. Oh, no, not too worried. I was just
Yeah.
trying to like, get myself into
Get
the swing of
organised.
it.
Good on you. All right. Okay, that's pretty much us.